York Giants in desperate need of a victory. They hosted the Seattle Seahawks, who were making the trip all the way from the West Coast, about as far as you can go, out to MetLife Stadium, and it was the Seahawks who prevailed, even without Geno Smith for part of this game, a 24-3 throttling at the hands of Pete Carroll and company. Patricia Traina is at MetLife. She was there to witness this disappointing performance in person that drops the G-Men to 1-3. And Patricia, after being the feel-good story of the 2022 season, there's not much to feel good about right now in Giants Nation. What has gone wrong for them?
Just about everything you could think of, Pete, has gone wrong. I mean, the offensive line is a mess. Daniel Jones is playing like he did a couple of years ago when we were all wondering if he was going to be anything. The play calling has been all over the place. The defense has lost its edge. Special teams has been an absolute mess. Injuries, you name it, it has gone wrong for the New York Giants.
But other than that, how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln? Is probably the real response there. The difference from last year to this year, then, because there were talent problems last year, to be sure. And so you come in this year and you think, okay, year two, Brian Daboll, he's the coach of the year. You think that you can build some momentum. There was some like stealth Super Bowl talk with this team. So what is the biggest difference then last year to this year?
It's hard to say for sure. I just feel like the team is not cohesive. You know, I think effort there, but it's just not coming together. I mean, you question how some of the players are being deployed. Like, for example, Darren Waller didn't get a target. You know, I think he got one target in the first half, and we didn't see him again until the second half. Paris Campbell, they've been misusing him since he's gotten here. Like I said, the offensive line has been a disaster. I think this was like their fifth combination because they had some injuries. And it's just, you know, they're missing that bite. And it's almost like, you know, who are these Giants? You know, I don't think they have an identity. I don't think they even know what their identity is.
Is it too early to have the conversation about the Daniel Jones contract for those of us who were not in the moment going, this is a disaster anyway?
I mean, people are already talking about it now, you know, and they're always going to talk about it until Daniel Jones proves otherwise, until he comes out and he wins, you know, a Super Bowl. So, you know, look, what's done is done. He's going to be the quarterback of this team this year as well as next year. They can get out of the contract after next year if they so choose. But, you know, right now, what other options do they have? They can go to Tyrod Taylor, I suppose, but is he really a better option at this point, given that the offensive line is garbage, given that the play calling has been questionable, and that the skill position players are just not getting it done?
I think that raises questions then about the makeup of this team. If we think Brian Daboll is a good coach, and I think you and I agree, he is a good coach, then that has to fall at the feet of management and the way that this team is structured then, doesn't it?
You would think, but I think part of it was how they got this team ready. You know, we go back to training camp, and I know I question the different offensive line combinations and not allowing that unit to gel. I question wisdom in only having the starters play in the preseason for one series. You know, I just feel like this team hasn't come out of the gate ready. And we saw this with Joe Judge a couple of years ago. I questioned it then. I'm questioning it now. And then, you know, pretty soon everything starts to snowball. And it's to the point now where, you know, again, how do you stop the bleeding? Because that gash is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.